Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is November 12th, I believe, Wednesday. We're finally, after a week of shenanigans, about to go strip tilling. So, spent a week trying to get my strip tiller going, some unknown problems, and then pull over here to load. And I've never had an issue with those little motors before. So, here's what we got going. We got a Montag cart, we got a 16-year-old 5310 case bar, Steiger tractor. I got a Raven rate controller, Raven encoder. I've got Green Star implement guidance and obviously tractor guidance running through a Reichardt Green Fit kit into a C&H Steiger. That's 4 different technology companies communicating together, and you guessed it, I must hate my life because it has been a struggle. Mostly on the Raven side, everything else has been pretty good. 0 out of 10 on the Raven side. I'm pretty disappointed. So I've spent thousands of dollars in parts that didn't fix it, and that was suggested to me by Raven Tech Support. Always pointing fingers, but we got her going. Big shout out to Brian at Titan and John and Tanner from RDO working together to get the old I can't say what I want to say. Get the old girl going. So we're gonna go take her for a rip, do some variable rating, see what kind of shenanigans we can get into. Really excited for this. That's better. All right, so I moved over to a soybean stubble field. I started on some wheat stubble, but it's a skosh muddy. We had some snow. I think it was last weekend. So you can see some snow here yet. Beautiful sunset. Strips are okay. They're a little cloddy just because it's kind of wet. So I'm probably maybe pushing it a little bit. Piece of shit Montag. Blowing fertilizer out the back. I just got out and checked all my runs. I wanted to make sure that nothing was plugged. So I don't know why it's pouring fertilizer out like that. It's always kind of done it. But like I said, yeah, she's definitely a touch wet. But I kind of just need to get going with it. So it's doing a good enough job. It'll mellow out over the winter. But the wheat stubble was way too wet. I was plugging everything up, so we moved out of there. And we're over here now. So just checking things out, making sure that everything's kind of working. Oh. Man, what a beautiful night. Beautiful night. So yeah, we're going. Hopefully next year I can afford to buy a new air cart for this thing, because this Montag absolutely sucks. Maybe probably a John Deere, get a John Deere rate controller. Then all this stuff will communicate 50 times better. Like I said, I'm essentially trying to make 4 tech companies talk to each other. C&H, Reichardt, which makes the Green Fit kit, John Deere, and Raven. And I've been about ready to pull my hair out this week. So we're gonna get back to stripping, and we'll talk a lot more about why it was such a pitiful week in the cab. We also had a demo sprayer. I'll try to put that in here somewhere. I didn't get a lot of video of that. Not enough to make a whole YouTube video anyway. So the YouTube channel's kind of popping. The old Uni Picker video took off for me, so that was kind of cool. I really do appreciate everybody who watches. We really need to try to take this a little bit more seriously, be a little bit more instructional, and talk a little bit more about why we do what we do. So we'll talk about that in the cab. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. So we are variable rate strip tilling. That means we're applying in zone. So the red zone you see here is a lighter rate than the green, and the black zone here is no fertilizer at all. Right now I'm putting down MAP, potash, sulfur, and urea, and a little bit of dry zinc. I'm not putting down all my urea or nitrogen needs in the fall, but I am putting some down, so I have some there in the spring, and I'll put the rest down later on in the spring with the floater. All of my P&K, all of my sulfur, and all the zinc that I need are going down in these strips behind me. I really like strip till because you can reduce your dry granular or your fertilizer needs a little bit because you're putting it in the row where the plant is going to be. And it's just better placement. I think it's one of the best ways to put down fertilizer. I'm fairly new to the variable rate world, so this has been kind of fun to watch. I don't know if I talked about it, but I think there's only 3 or 4 zones on my map because I have an older Monte cart with a slower controller, so we didn't want to overwork it. So I've only got 3 to 4 zones, but it's better than what I had when I would just come out here and broadcast the whole field. So we zone sampled the soil, and this is how we made the maps with that. That way I'm not applying fertilizer in what we'll call hot spots or heavy zones where I've got a lot of readily available P&K. And another reason that I like to apply P&K in the fall is because it takes a while for the P&K or the MAP and potash to break down. This way it's in the soil, it gets to break down over winter, and then it becomes readily available. So now we're in the black zone here, and we're shutting off. And you can see where the blue is there. It's going to pick back up, and it's going to start applying fertilizer again once we get in the red zone. So that's super awesome. It's really fun to see. I got some killer sunset footage with the drone tonight, so I'm probably going to put that video here after this, and we'll talk a little bit more after about what the disasters were. So enjoy the drone footage. Where do we start? I'll preface this with saying that we bought this strip till bar off Facebook Marketplace last year for very, very cheap. I traded in the rate controllers that were on it. It came with actually 2. It had a old John Deere rate controller and a Raven rate controller. And I traded those in for a new Raven because at the time I had no plans of trading up planters and getting a Gen 5 or G5 John Deere display and green fitting a Steiger. So I got a Raven controller, I got a couple of unlocks, paid some money, yada yada, used it last fall. It worked okay. It's better this year than it was last year, so the boys rebuilt it. You saw that video. Anyways, my Raven controller was new enough to be able to plug into this G5 display and just kind of like plug and play and make it work. So last Wednesday we attempted that. Today's Wednesday, November 12th, so a week ago Wednesday, which would be what, this 5th? We attempted to set this up. John and Tanner came down from RDO. They worked tirelessly to make this thing work. It was well after dark when we quit, and we were kind of stumped, but we kind of thought we had a direction. We thought maybe the PWM valve was sticking. So, and that's kind of what Raven support had indicated, is that I needed to upgrade my whole hydraulic control block in the back, the PWM valve and all that, to a new version or a new updated, whatever you want to call it. So I got that. That took 2 days, Thursday, Friday. It finally showed up Monday. Monday was cold as shit. We were still waiting for the snow to melt. And Tuesday we got the hydraulic block on, and that didn't fix it. It was still, so it was doing this thing, and I should have recorded it where it would spin the hydraulic motor, and then it would stop, and then it would spin. It was like pulsing. So I put a new encoder on it, which the encoder is essentially the speed sensor that determines how fast the auger spinning and feeding the machine, and that kind of determines your rate together with the hydraulic motor and the PWM valve. And if you're familiar with any of it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with it, you won't understand. And maybe tomorrow in the daylight, I'll do a demonstration video and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I gotta turn around. I'll resume in a minute. So we got all that on yesterday, probably by noon, I think, Tuesday, and well, I'll be damned if that didn't fix it. So the only other thing I thought was, well, maybe the little hydraulic motor that drives the shaft, that drives the encoder, that spins the auger, is seized up. And it felt like it was. It was pretty rusty. It was probably the original motor. Thought I was onto something. That little puppy is $2,000. So I think altogether I've got $3,000 to $4,000 in new parts on my Monte cart that didn't fix a damn thing. Talked to Raven Support 5 or 6 times between last Wednesday and this Wednesday. Finally this morning, a fella who actually kind of knew what he was talking about said, well, if you're running this controller through a G5 John Deere display, you need a software update. After all the other ones had told me it's a mechanical problem, you know, it's a hydraulic problem, your tractor pump's bad, everything under the sun, all it was a software update. So this afternoon, I had to get a Raven dealer, which happens to be my local Case IH dealer. There's a Titan Machinery. They came out and they got it updated for me. And so far, it's been working pretty good. I've had a few little quirky things go on I've had to take care of, but overall, so far, it is stripping, it is putting out fertilizer, it is doing a pretty good job, and we're getting something done. Like I said, it's kind of unfortunate when you have to when you're trying to cobble job 4 tech companies together, how near impossible it is. And I guess it is what it is, you know, a hard lesson learned, you figure it out. So we're stripping, that's what we're doing. Maybe I'll put the camera back together and we'll get some outside footage. So I'm empty. It's after 7 anyway. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna refill here and keep going for a bit, or if I'm just gonna call it a night and start with a fresh brain in the morning, because I spent all day trying to get all this stuff working, and it's a hair muddy yet, as you can see by my tires, which is amazing. So I might probably just resume in the morning when there's some daylight. So got a little tweaking to do yet. Things are kind of working. I got about 60 acres in tonight, so not a bad start considering it was nearly dark when I got over here. So probably get about 30 acres an hour with this thing, maybe a little more when you're running, but if you factor in the fills, it's not near as much. So I guess I think I'm gonna go home. Everything's kind of working. Shut her down for the night. Try to get some cool shots in the morning. Put the camera out on the tractor and get some stripper shots for you. I tell you, I've never had to work this hard to make a stripper work for me. So insane the amount of money I spent on it. There's so many jokes there. It's the most expensive stripper ever. So we're gonna call her a night. I'll see you in the morning. Well, we're filling up this morning. I'm sure glad this one's got grates. Those would plug up runs in a hurry. See how much we can get done today. I had a shank spring back on me last night, so I had to hook the chain to my pickup and pull that out. Do a few other little things. We'll try to get stripping here, get loaded up, get this truck empty. So the battery's still dead on that little motor, so you got to use jumper cables to actually get it to run. That's kind of nice. Typical day around here. So what do you do? Into the high zones now. Look at that, 355 in the green. We're in the better part of the field. I don't know how well that's going to show up. I don't know why my tractor's John Deere. That's weird. So now we're going to go back down to a little bit lower rate. So I guess there is 4 zones out here. It's shipping pretty nice today. It's kind of actually drying up a little. It was a skosh wet yesterday or last night yet when I started. We're getting something done, so I've got another tank out, rolling along. I'm using the AB curve because I didn't get my boundaries made because I just never get all my work done. So I drove this headland and just recorded an AB curve. It's actually going pretty good. Pretty impressed with it. So we'll see how it does on the next ones. Love to see it. In the black zone, so that means we're not putting anything down, we're just making strips because, well, don't really need any fertility down here next to the slough. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Can you see it? That's the fertilizer map for this field. It's kind of a little fun shaped one. Oh, I had some calibration numbers wrong or screwed up or whatever, and I was running some cals on it. Definitely going to be under applied on some of this, but thankfully it's on the worst end, or the end of the field that required the least amount of fertilizer. So in fact, quite a bit of it was just nothing. So it probably won't be the end of the world. I'm not quite sure where I'm at. I don't remember how many acres were on the counter when I left the yard, and I didn't reset them. And I also didn't, because some of it I just ran dry, like I wasn't actually putting out product. I was just running simulations, like speed tests. And so I don't remember how many acres I had, how many speed tests I ran. But we're creeping along, getting something done today. It's about 3 p.m. I'll stick you guys out on the fender here pretty quick and give you a bird's eye outdoor view. Skylar just went in and got another load of fertilizer. Finally got a truck empty. It only took me a week. Well, after all the debauchery getting this thing going, we had to set a new profile, and I lost my scale calibration number and all that. So it says I have 4,000 pounds left. What do you guys think? Does that look like 4,000 pounds? Maybe you can't tell. I don't really know what 4,000 pounds of fertilizer looks like. If we were guessing bushels, I'd be apt to say that there's probably not 4,000 pounds in there. But we'll see. Just trying to get it empty, get a feel for it, see where it's at. I do have a standard calibration number, but I think this thing is way off. You know? I don't know, 150 acres in, you'd think I'd get it dialed in, huh? So I would say that conditions have improved some, but it's still, you know, it's still plenty wet. It's working. Everything's kind of polishing up. I left my door open. I'm gonna let all the gnats in. So, pretty nice day for November 12th. It's like 60, almost 60 degrees out. But I don't know. I just don't trust this thing. It just feels like it ain't counting right. But I might be going crazy too. I don't know. We'll see. Here's to a pretty awesome time lapse. Well, it's probably about time to fill the old stripper up here. What's going on with my hydraulics? See if we can get back in. I got right going around the slew, so I'm working on this side and this side. We'll get backed up here. Sorted out. First I gotta go open my lid. Well, still stripping. Took a little break, about 30 minutes. Take Libby home and looking for some supper, but didn't find anything, so water it is. Cracker and waters pretty much, right? No, I'm just kidding. I had a little popcorn, a few handfuls, and away we went. I don't know, kind of getting going again. Things are working, so taking her easy, a little glitchy. I think my scale might actually be right now, probably. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, just stripping away. I suppose it'll take me till Saturday or Sunday to get done, but we will see. So just happy to be running, happy to be going. Dylan and Skylar have been blowing off combines, and so we have like a whole week of snow and rain next week, and I think that's going to be the end, like starting Monday. So we got a few nice days left. We're trying to at least get everything blowed off really good. If we don't get it all washed this fall, it'll be okay. We'll wash it next year. So, all right, I gotta do some headlamps, so I'm gonna put you down for a bit anyway until I get my curve started. It's pretty muddy through here, so the snow just kind of finally melted down through these potholes. I think I'll be okay. I should have probably done this before I refilled the cart. I thought about it. That'll be alright. That's about the only really bad spot. So we're getting our curve set around because somebody didn't get his fields bordered. Sounds about like me not getting my homework done. Not that I don't have the option to have boundary fill or whatever they call it. I just didn't get her done. So shame on me. This might be a disaster. We're gonna shift her up a little bit. Stay high, stay dry. Sticking to the tires. It'll be alright. too wet to plant it. We had to leave a few soybeans, so it'll probably be too wet to plant it next spring anyhow. If we have any sort of a winter. One of these, hey, there we got it. Look at that. I don't know how I just did that. I zoomed out. Can I zoom back in? Oh, that's so cool. I wish I could zoom out a little more and show you the whole map. So right now we're currently going around this pothole in the curve. I ended my curve there and there because I've got a straight line. So it'll make sense if you don't think about it when we get up to it. But I'm just using AB curve because I can't figure out how to make adaptive curve, make the next lines. It said something about you can only do that with AB. So me and my lack of John Deere knowledge, that's what I am doing. Maybe somebody with a brain can tell me otherwise. So. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, I just figured a whole bunch of shit out. Look at that! We're close, now we're far away. That's awesome. So, yeah, awesome. There we go. Back at it. Now I want to zoom this back in. There we go. Maybe not quite that far. That's there. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, so we drug her through the mud, drug her through the snow. There's still snow out there, you can see it. It really made a muddy little mess down here along the pothole, but it'll work. So it's doing it. Got this thing dialed in pretty good. It's fun to watch it. I really like the Google Earth view. It's kind of cool. Fortunately, there's a variable rate map overlaid on top of it, so you don't get quite as good a view as I do. Light, fix that night strip. Things are kind of working, I think. The worst part about running at night is I can't see if my vents back there start running over. If I start blowing fertilizer out the back of the Venturi, then I know that I've got plugged runs, so it's tough to see it back there, but I'll have to get out and check at some point. But I have been using some fertilizer because the scale's going down, so that's always a good sign. Goes down. Slow process today, slow process. And it gets dark at, what time is it? It's like 6 o'clock. So it feels like you've worked twice as long as you actually have. Well, the sun's out, so we're out trying to do something, but the dew's a little heavy yet. It's plugging. This one's kind of sensitive. All this stuff. There we go. What a mess. Makes such a mess. It hasn't really dried out at all this week, as you can tell. It's just kind of wet. Alright, make sure we got fertilizer and air coming out of every one of these. Now that we started back over, yeah, obviously this one's working. Still blowing fertilizer out. Good, good, good. Okay. Yeah, they're all good. Everything's still connected. So clean out a little bit, quick. Plugged it. See it in there? Something out of that. Alright, I gotta work on these a little bit. Well, I done it now. I wadded up half the bar and made some bales out here. Planter guy, which is me, is gonna be so pissed about this. So I think I'll have to give it a little time here and come back to it. Jeepers. See if we can keep smearing it around. Stupid! You're stupid. That's what you are. Dumbass. Oh, let's see here. We'll start back over here and see if we can try to clean this mess up a little bit. Look at the bales. Just go really lightly through it. See if we can claw the rest of it up. What a mess. Oh, jeez. Beep, 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 beep. Duty cycle, limit, blah, blah, blah. Slow down. Come on, work out of there. Oh, you fucker. It's still sticking over there. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm gonna have to just get out. Well, we're rolling across this piece here. This used to be an old pasture not that long ago. So far I've collected a chain. Somehow. That's kind of cool. I don't quite know how that's wrapped around there, but oh, nice. There's like a nail. Huh. That's nifty. Wonder where I got all that from. Part of a chain. And I got a rock over here. There. Fix that. I noticed that was dragging. That's why I got out. But investigate what this is a little bit more, huh? Oh no, and my tube fell off. Shoot. That's no good. Wow. So that wraps around there. Okay. Get the chain off. Now what's all this other shit stuck on here? Must have drug it through a fence or something. Damn. There we go. Now it's coming off there. Jeez. And there's some twine. Huh. Where did that all come from? Some twine, some wire, a couple of old nails, and this chain. Very cute. Yeah, I gotta fix my humdinger here real quick. You can see it. Look at that. Busted the shank bolt. My goodness, I hit the whole herd of them here. That one, it's just a little too big for me to lift up onto the ground. Nice little boulder. Look good in somebody's yard. Sweet. So you can see where I had a nice strip rock, and then tripped it. Nothing. Strip. You hate to see it. Well, I'll have to, thankfully there's a gate right there going into the pasture, so, and it's right in line with it, and it'll be easy to tell them where this is at. And honestly, I've been doing pretty good considering the field, or this part of the field that I'm in. There's a ton of rocks down through these little hills. So we will get a hammer, see if we can get that hammered back in there, and throw a shank bolt in it, and away we go. Shouldn't be too much work, right? I feel like that's gonna bite me in the ass in a minute. Something's gonna bite me. I can't find my hammer. Well, we're filling her up. This will be my last fill right here, and then I'm gonna move the operation north a little ways. Kind of a nice day. Where's the sun? There's the sun. Shining. Beautiful. Nice southwest wind. Might actually get something dried out this week, just in time for it to start snowing next week. So this is kind of our final push. I get done strip tilling, I got to spray all this with Fall Valor. It'll be a residual herbicide for the corn crop next year. It works really well for us. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Happy stripping. I know this isn't as entertaining as a uni picking corn, but fortunately this is what we're doing today. So, getting something done. Slow and steady, that's what wins the race. I gotta fix my shank here yet. To get my handy dandy Montezuma box. Kind of a mess. I got that bolt out. So, put a new one in it, get this shank fixed up, and move some shit up the road. Should be good to go. Sheesh. The old humdinger sunk in there pretty good. Good thing it's an auto shift Volvo. I don't think anything else would have drove out of them holes. So good old Community Oil, our ag retailer, local ag retailer, top notch. Let us use these trucks. It works really well for us, so very grateful for that. Even if they are auto shift Volvos, and it takes me a second to figure out how to drive them. All right, here we go. Brum, brum, brum. Ooh, don't like doing this, but we're gonna have to whip her around out here on headland to get out of here. Look at that rig. What a rig! Kind of looks like it's gonna start raining before we even get done here. Okay, I need to haul a little more dirt in on this approach. For sure. Come on, truck, pick a gear. Yeah, it's hammering on her. It's so weird, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like silly. Good old trusty Volvo. Moving up. Beautiful strips. Beautiful. You love to see it. You really love to see it. So you could say that I'm used to running a 16-row planter, and my strip till bar is a 16-row. Our new planter is a 24-row, so now I've got to make 3 headland passes, so that gives me 48 rows. So that'll be 2 planter passes, 1 down, 1 back. But old habits die hard, and I wasn't thinking. So here I am, like checkerboard strip tilling. It'll be okay. Once we get done closing this up, we're just gonna hop across there and get that next field going up the little hill. Things are working pretty good. In a perfect world, I would have had my field boundaries made and in op center and mapped, and then I could have just used boundary fill, and I could have used I forget what I think it's the whole features boundary fill, so it would like tell me when to raise up so I can make exactly 3 perfect passes. But I did not get my fields mapped. I don't know why. I just didn't get it done. So we're stuck doing it the old-fashioned way with AB curve or whatever. It is what it is. It's working. It won't be perfect, but it'll be close enough. So with the amount of downtime I had trying to get this thing going, right now I can't let perfect be the enemy of good. I just have to get strip tilling done. It's got to get done. There's just no other way around it. Got a nice chunk of it done here. So it's working pretty good. My strips look pretty nice. So I've got a shank sprung somewhere in there. You can kind of see it. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So Get that shank pulled back out. You just got to hook onto it with the pickup and a big chain. That's the only way that I can get them to unspring themselves. So get that done, and then go from there. Well, move on to the next patch or next part of this field, I guess. We kind of just farm it like one big field because that's pretty much what it is. It's 3/4, so it's basically 1.5 miles long. So this headland that I'm doing here now, that's what it is. So get that done. And I got a little bit in the corner, which you can't see yet. Get that whipped out. That will be golden. It's a little muddy right there. I don't know what the deal is. There's just snow on the fence lines. It's been 60 degrees for like 3 days, and just can't get the snow melted out of the grass. So all the field edges are just wet. Anything that's got a few trees, like a tree row by it or something, it's also wet. Whoops, gotta go. No, we're about out of fuel. What would we ever do? Dumbass, forgot to turn your master switch on. Whoopsies. Have that on them. They found some mud again. Skyler's sitting down there at the end. You probably can't see him. He's bringing me some fuel. So that'll be nice. Get fueled up and keep trucking along here. Nice thing is my house is right there. I'll be working right next to the house, so run out of coffee, stop, walk through the trees, get some coffee. So we're trying to get the shank unsprung. Hit it hard! There, you got it! There we go. Awesome. That's better. Now we'll be able to do something here. So the only way we found to unspring them is to just hook a chain to them and pull the damn things out. That one was stuck pretty good. Oh! Well, things were going good, and then I busted a shank off, so now I got to get that fixed. Hey, look, they're combining corn. I got a spare old one back here. Yeah, it was going great, and then it wasn't. Going good till it wasn't. That's what I'm trying to say. Thankfully, I like when they break there, at least you can don't lose that little spacer. Sometimes I lose those little spacers. Oh, find some tools. I'm sure I lost it. There's a little rock patch over here that I just went through, and I'm sure that's where I lost it. I was just getting comfortable too, settling in for a long night. Okay, I'm gonna fix that. We'll get back to stripping. That bottom bolt there is bent, so I can't get that out. So I ended up having to take I couldn't slide it out far enough to get the rest of it off, so I had to take I don't know what you call this, brace off. It's gonna take 2 hands to put it back on though, I bet. Oh yeah, for sure, it's just pushing the bolts up. Hang on. Okay. Don't remember which one, must have been this one. We are back in business for now. Do a quick check of everyone. Make sure everybody's connected. Looks good on this side. Looks good on the back. These are all hooked up. Hooked up. All right. Remember now, don't back up. Back to stripping. Here we go. lumpy old strips. It's just borderline too wet. But they'll mellow out next spring. Get a little snow on them, it'll soften them up. They'll be all right. Well, good morning, everybody. We're back on the stripper. Pretty long walk to work today, and about 50 yards, not even the hike. So we're currently closing this up. This end of the field, we're gonna reload the stripper. I see I already sprung a shank this morning, so I gotta take care of that quick, and then get this thing loaded. And then I'm probably gonna turn this over to Skylar, and I'm gonna go do some spraying. Get that fall Valor put out. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I ran till I think about 1 o'clock this morning. It's right at 8 now, so it's a hair tacky. Wouldn't hurt to give it an hour. It'll probably start making piles here soon enough. When the shit gets all built up on the row cleaners, that's usually what happens. It makes piles. So anyways, we're gonna load and go from there. Well, first thing I did this morning was plug up half the runs on this thing, so had to go get the big compressor, blow them out. I'm pretty sure that tire's a little low. So now we're gonna try it again. To 55%. That'll be pretty close. And then just leave your fan on as you drive all the way back down. It'll clean out better. And then hopefully don't plug again. So, have it stripping, I guess. A little change of view here. I am spraying Fall Valor on this ground, and Skylar's right over there strip tilling. I don't know if you can see him or not. Try to zoom in a little right there. So, putting down Fall Valor. It's a nice residual herbicide that we use in the fall on ground that's going to go to corn next year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as soon as I turn around. Let's talk about why we put down fall residuals. I know that I've talked about it a little bit in my previous video when we were spraying corn stalks. So every bean stubble field that gets strip tilled, we put out Fall Valor and Stinger, and that is just a residual herbicide. Stinger kind of kills some weeds and gives you a bit of residual as well. Works really well, buys us a lot of time in the spring, and financially it's just a good choice, I think. The biggest thing is time management for us, and I think that's something I always hear to talk about. Is a lot of times in the spring anymore, it's just me and Skylar, like here all the time, full time. And so when we're running 2 planters, we just don't have a guy who can be running around spraying, or I can't necessarily go spray and plant at the same time. So this just buys me a lot of time in the spring, and then it allows me to kind of continue doing custom work. And I'm sure not getting rich doing custom work, but there is potentially some opportunities for growth in acres by doing custom work. I think that, especially, you know, in my situation, I think it's a good way for me to be able to pick up some land here soon. So that's why we just keep doing that. So sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices to kind of gain in the end, in the long run. You know, eventually I'll probably just be spraying it for myself. So it's not that big a deal to do it in the spring. I'm actually spraying at a 2-degree angle going across the strips. My GPS is working like dog shit today. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It used to be so good and now it just sucks, but I suppose it needs some kind of update. Nobody ever tells you when they need updates. They just, you call them with a problem and they say, oh, it needs an update. I just get tired of calling. So I'm going at an angle because it's really hard to stay on the row when these strips are fresh, and I don't want to drive down. I don't want to drive my strips down and pack them in. So that totally defeats the purpose of strip tilling. But I don't know if I've touched on it at all, but one of the main reasons that we've started strip tilling here recently in the last 3 years is fertilizer and soil management. I don't particularly like full width conventional tillage. It's just not my jam. I don't like the erosion. I don't like the time that it takes, the amount of manpower that it takes in the spring to have somebody running the digger or the field cultivator, as everybody else calls them. So for us, it's nice to just have these strips, have our fertilizer down. Again, another time management practice. Fertilizer in the strips, doing tillage just where you want the plant, nowhere else. And golly, look at this mess I made yesterday because I started too early. Oh, it's gonna be rough. And of course, I've got to get right onto it here. So, what a mess. Anyways, this way in the spring, we don't have to have somebody running around doing tillage. We don't have to dedicate one tractor, you know, to tillage. We can kind of, we no-till our soybeans, we plant our corn strip till. We just go plant. I'm not chasing the planters with a sprayer. I'm not trying to do so much in the spring. It just allows me to focus on trying to do a good job planting. I get a little overwhelmed. It's just my nature, and then I don't sleep, and then I make mistakes because I feel like in the spring sometimes those busy times I have too much to do. So that's where the time management, trying to find ways to continue to be more efficient, especially in the spring. And so whenever we have nice long falls and we get time to do this stuff, we try to get absolutely as much stuff done as we can in the fall. Fall P&K, fall strip tilling, fall spraying. It all saves so much time in the... I'm about ready to burn this sprayer down. It all saves so much time in the... Shut up. It's probably 3 ounces low on hydraulic fluid right now. Like, it's literally 7/8 the way up to sight glass, and it's still beeping. I don't know why. I hate it. GPS is jacked up. That's stupid. It's probably a sensor, probably a spendy one. So that's what we're doing. We're spraying. Skylar's strip tilling. Just him and I today. So we're kind of able to do a lot of this just kind of on our own, which is nice, not needing a crew. So if anybody wants a gently used 3340 Patriot, I got it brand new in 2021. It's got 920 hours on it. Ha! Shoot me an offer! Trying to get it set into the wet wheat stubble. Anybody knows anything about that, you know how this goes. Not worth a damn. kind of working. Not doing too bad, making some okay strips. Not much for a berm, but we'll get by. All right, I better go get a truck load of fertilizer, me and Libby. Big job today, boys, big job. What, you want to go? Jump in. Get up there and sit down. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's November 3rd, Monday. And we are in this 4450 Patriot sprayer. It's a demo unit from Titan Machinery. So if the markets ever come back, we're going to be in the market for a new sprayer. So I've been demoing a few. I ran a John Deere this summer, and now we're going to run this new Patriot because they've changed a lot of things in these things from when so my 3340 is just completely different than this thing. They've got a Viper monitor, Raven whatever, and this is the Pro 1200, and there's a bunch of stuff here that doesn't really make any sense either. The cabs are super nice, I'll give them that, but we'll be waiting on somebody to come show us how to run this. So we're gonna use ours for a bit this morning, and then whenever Titan gets here, we'll hop on this bad boy, and I think we get to use it for like 10 hours. So it's got some kind of weird CVT transmission in it. I don't quite understand it, but you actually use the brakes. I'm used to just a regular hydro. This thing's quite different. So we're gonna throw a little fuel in it. I'm scared to run into things with it. Scooch, scooch, scooch. All right. Now you gotta gauge the park brake. I think we're good. We're in park. All right. So we're gonna fuel this thing up. Then we're gonna fuel mine up. We're gonna take off. I kind of got ready yesterday, Sunday. Kind of got pretty much ready to go. I should have fueled these sprayers up, but I didn't. So we're doing that now. Here we have the 3340 and the 4450. So my sprayer's got a 1,000-gallon tank, 120-foot booms. Mine are trifold booms. This is a 40 series. This is like the OG Patriot that they've had for 20 plus years. This is the new style bifold boom, 1,600-gallon tank, and a 4 series, I guess. So it's quite a bit bigger than mine, heavier, bigger, everything. Mine is a light-footed mud goat. This one, I believe, will be a boat anchor. But it'll be fun to compare them. So the guy from Titan who's going to show me how to use it is almost here. So I think Skylar's going to take off with this one. We have 3/4 of corn stalks right in a row. So one of them's going to go to, one across the road is going to go to sunflowers next year. So this is a different load. This is just sulfetrazone, Roundup, dicamba, and some oil. And then this one will be running metribuzin, sulfetrazone, dicamba, Roundup, and some oil for soybeans. So sunflowers will not grow through the metribuzin residual, so we have to leave it out, but it's a pretty similar chemical program in the beginning between sunflowers and soybeans. So I think Skylar's going to take off with this, and we're going to figure out how to get the truck over there too. And Skylar will spray and I'll spray, and we'll get a bunch done today. That's the plan. I'm sure it'll go as planned too. So I haven't got to film too much. I've been having some GPS issues with this thing. The old Raven screen ain't wanting to work very good. So I've had somebody riding with me pretty much the whole time. We've sprayed 148 acres with it. I think Skylar's gotten a couple hundred. He should be crowding 300. Not a very productive day with sprayers. I was hoping to have a little better day than this. It's already 2 p.m. So I don't know. It is what it is. We're moving down to a big one now, a good one, and we'll work away on that a little bit. Hopefully this thing will run so I can use it in peace, but I do greatly appreciate all the help that I've had so far today with it. It kind of wanders down the road pretty bad. I don't know, it's an interesting machine. It's a lot different than mine. It's got like a weird CVT hydro thing in it. I don't know. It's alright. It's not my favorite. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta drive. Well, hey there, everybody. It is now Wednesday morning. Tuesday morning? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're day 2 into this spraying deal. We should have been done yesterday. We did not get done yesterday because this sprayer is being a real pain in the ass. So I didn't get to record much yesterday because I just constantly had somebody in here with me and we were trying to sort this thing out. I'm not a fan of Raven anything screen wise, and unfortunately this thing does have a Raven Viper 4 Plus in it, paired with a Pro 1200 case display, and it pretty well solidified my opinion on anything Raven. I've got the old Raven screen in my floater, and they're just as janky now as they were 17 years ago. So there's no, everything's a picture. Like, you gotta decipher the pictures. It's like when you were a kid and you had one of those boxes and you had to put the shapes, like the shape blocks in the right shaped holes kind of thing. That's what this thing reminds me of. But you've got no, cognitive ability to do that when you're that age. And it's kind of the same thing now. And I'm sure there's people that are gonna tell me I'm full of it. But overall, if this thing had like 2 Pro 1200s, which I think will be an option soon, I really like it otherwise. So I'll talk to you a little bit more in a bit about it here. Alright, so we're spraying. It's working this morning. Been having a lot of issues with this thing kicking us out. So this thing's got Aim Command Flex 2, which is just a newer version of the Aim Command Flex that I have on my 3340. The cab's super quiet. I don't love the hood. They put a mirror in the way, so I had to fold that out because I hit my head on it every time I get in and out of here. They don't build these things for tall guys to get around on. Overall, I love the machine. I like the multi-function handle a lot. I'm getting used to it. So this thing is not a normal hydrostat. I don't really know how to explain it. You just kind of got to go like this and like this. That's what it never, like a regular hydro on a sprayer or a combine, it'll stay right where you put it, and that's kind of how you adjust it. So the one thing I really just don't like at all is the fuel consumption on it is horrible. Like it burns a lot of fuel. I mean, just an insane amount. So you can see here where I was spraying last night, and it was only mapping one section. So I don't have any section control in that, and then I obviously backed into this corner, and I don't know, it was all screwed up. So we'll get spun around here quick and get going on the next one. But I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I like. There's some things I sure don't like. I sure don't like this Raven thing at all. When it does work, it's okay, but it's just really janky. Like, it looks like some 1990s Atari shit, The auto boom on it is pretty dang good now. They finally got that sorted out. So, alright, I think we're about where we need to be. That was a pretty piss poor turn on my part. So, the Aim Command Flex 2, it pulses twice as fast as my old one. It makes the dumbest sounds. But when it does work, it is quite an impressive machine. So I will say that I do enjoy running it when it is working. But it sounds like we got some tech guys coming again today to try to maybe sort this thing out. So I just wanted to get some product off of it because I'm going to send them to a mud hoodle. So the old Viper 4 Plus piece of junk fucked up again, so we got to restart it. But here's a view of the interior. It's super nice. I mean, everything with that Viper 4 Plus I really love. And this mirror in the way. This is stupid. I had to fold it over. 1600 gallon tank, 120 foot booms, 4450. Gotta answer my phone as per usual. So last night when I came home from that field, the Raven mapped all the way home, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. The thing does scoot down the road 37.5 mile an hour. I think if we could, so we're going down to two big fields, and Titan is going to meet us down there, and we're going to try to sort this thing out. So Ryman's been working pretty hard at it because we want it to, I've kind of become a test dummy for him. We really want this thing to work. Everybody else says the Raven paired with the Pro 1200s to just the cat's ass Cadillac all sprayers, but I will say this 4450, the cab is so nice. There's so much room in here. It's a Steiger cab. I love it. I love the Pro 1200. there's just a lot of stuff. The seats, I mean, just even the seat in it, it's super nice. So there's a lot of cool things, a lot of cool features. And I'm a little biased. We've had Patriots. We've had 3 Patriots. I don't know, man. They're just hard to beat, you know. There's some things that Case IH makes really good, and that's sprayers and combines. All right, while I'm waiting for all this to boot back up, we'll talk a little bit about fall residuals and why we just do them. It's kind of a foreign concept over here where I'm at. I did see the neighbor was out spraying over there. Same. So there's a few of us that do it. We put down metribuzin and sulfetrazone on corn stalks in the fall, and then if the field has kind of some late season weeds, we'll run a little Roundup or dicamba or 2,4-D, just depends on that's per field basis, but every field gets metribuzin and sulfetrazone. If it's going to soybeans, it gets a good heavy rate. That's a nice residual. And then in the spring, we just come into the corn stalks and no-till our soybeans, and it's like, I mean, like guys this year did 2 to 4 in-crop post-plant passes to try to control weeds because we had such a tough year. I did 1. I sprayed 1 time post-plant. I sprayed 0 times pre-plant, except for everything that I sprayed last fall. So it saves you a ton of herbicide. It is a little bit more work and time in the fall, and you got to learn how to no-till a little bit, but it does work pretty dang good. So we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer, as long as the fall allows us. 2019, we did not get it done because, 2019. So we were combining corn clear to Thanksgiving in the snow and in the mud. But this year has been a little nicer. We've been having nicer falls, so I would even say that I believe in this practice so much that I would be willing to chase right behind the combine if the fall was rough and it wouldn't allow us to do anything. Okay, here we go. Now we got this puppy working. All right. I do kind of like that. This is your throttle control, but you can double tap the bunny. This little humdinger, this knob will switch you through your screen pages, which is also kind of cool. The Pro 1200 is pretty neat. I like it. I do miss some features of the Pro 700, but overall this sprayer is just top notch. So I've demoed a 412R John Deere and this 4450 Patriot. Both of them have things that I like about them, and this one is a little harder on fuel, but I could definitely put a tune on it and take care of that problem. Up the consumption, or lower the consumption a little bit. So here we go, we're spraying. This thing absolutely cooks down the field. So we're doing 10-gallon work. I really like that. It's kind of like a cruise control feature. It'll get you up to where you set your scroll dial. This wheel allows you to slow down and speed up, set your speeds, all that. So like I said, it is aim command flex, so it does have individual nozzle shut off, which is pretty sweet. But my 3340 also has that. This one I do believe is equipped with Case's version of ExactApply, or wait, what's it called? What's John Deere's called? They call this one SenseApply. I don't think it's ExactApply. It's why is it slipping my mind right now? See and Spray, John Deere See and Spray. This one they call SenseApply. This one is equipped with it, I believe. I think, and it's also got the Raven row sense on it, so you can run rows, run corn rows and stuff too. So I don't know. Overall, I really like this sprayer a lot. I am kind of a Patriot guy. I am biased towards them. I think they're just phenomenal sprayers. And this one, you know, now that I've got to spend a couple days in it, it kicks ass. Back out here in Old Familiar. Nice little sunset. Maybe you can see it through the mud. Well, we're whittling away. We sure did not, we've not had big spray days, but we will get done tonight. This really shoulda, coulda, woulda been a one-day project. At least corn stalks anyway. I still got to put out fall Valor for corn. But this particular field I'm spraying right now, we're leaving the metribuzin out because it is going to most probably go to sunflowers next year, barring any call it a glitch. Any glitches in the matrix, calm down. Just telling me my hydraulic oil level is low. So if it is, it ain't very low because it only does it when I turn around on the hill. But anyways, we're calm down. We're spraying away, trying to make something happen today. We went basically 47 miles. We were as far south as we farm, and now we're as far north as we farm.